What is going on, everybody? The 30-year-old law student has returned. That's right. I am now a 2L, so I'm well and truly in my second year of law school. So congrats to me, I guess, right? Anyway, thank you so much for watching the video. Now that the school year has gotten underway, I will be restarting this blog, let you know what I'm up to video, whatever I want to call it. I call it the 30-year-old law student. Anyway, thank you so much for watching and for continuing to support me as I go through the craziest education of my life, which is law school. A little bit about the summer. I guess the summer started out really good because my grades in my class, for all of my classes actually, were really good. Got a really good grade in every single one. I was very, very, very happy, and got a lot of B pluses. That was the funny thing about it. I kept joking. A lot of B pluses, but yes, ended up with a very good set of grades, good GPA. Very happy about that, and here we go. And the summer was good. I was a law clerk over here at the probate court here in Elmore County, and that court is awesome. Judge Enslin was, well, he's the judge there, and then Brent Helms, who is the chief clerk and special judge of probate, was kind of like my direct boss, and got to see a lot. I learned a ton about how courts work and how everything kind of runs from the judicial side of things, which is very interesting because I didn't really know a ton about the inner workings of that before. I got a lot of experience doing that, and saw cases of what we handle is mostly things of adoptions, wills, estates. We actually did some eminent domain, which is part of what the probate court does there. And then it was interesting because I got to do also some orders. I did lots of those for the court and did some other record keeping. I worked as a special master during an adoption case, which was really exciting. And so, I mean, I got to write a big report. Did a big legal memo about privacy concerns relating to internet use policies, and also wrote a draft internet use policy for the court, the employees that work there. And then also I did a computer program. So a lot of you guys that worked with me before, you know I do programming and things like that. And I ended up doing a computer program, going through the Code of Alabama and the statutes with that. And it was relating to the fees, because we charge a lot of fees at the probate court, depending on what's filed and what kind of proceedings it is and things like that. And to make sure that we're charging the right amount, I wrote a computer program that was basically a checkbox thing where you'd go through and whatever was filed, you'd check it, or you would put in how many were filed, and it'll give you a printable version of it that you can print, save, and then it'll also store case by case, basically a giant record of the total amount collected, or charged I should say, and things like that. So that was kind of like the highlight of what I did, and it was really exciting. So I really like that. I mean, I learned like an untold amount of stuff this summer, so it was really cool. So even though I didn't get to go to some of the other internships that I applied for, this one worked out absolutely perfect, and it was super close to the house, so it was easy to get to and everything like that. Anyway, enough about summer, on to this semester. So we just finished the first week of this new semester, which is fall, and it's kind of crazy. A lot of people have been telling me, they're like, what are you talking about? You're already going back to school. I'm like, yeah, already back to school. And this is going to be an interesting semester. Now that I'm past my first year, not only do I not have the crushing curve of having to be curved to like a 2.5 in all of my classes, I also get to have elective classes. My mandatory classes that I have to take as part of the curriculum is I have to take evidence, which is a 4 credit hour class. So it's all about federal rules of evidence and things like that, how evidence works and is introduced to the court and things like that so far. On top of that, I also have a constitutional criminal procedure class, which I'm really excited for that class because it's getting into criminal law, and I like criminal law a lot. A lot of people know that I want to work for the U.S. Attorney's Office one day, and that'd be a great thing right there. So I'm excited to learn about that, and hopefully in the spring take advanced criminal procedure, also known as from bail to jail. So there's that, and also I have the second half of constitutional law, which this part of con law, instead of just being called constitutional law 2, is called First Amendment rights and something like that. It basically has to do with, instead of a lot of the foundational cases of constitutional law, different rights, going through like the Bill of Rights and things like that. So excited to get into that. I've heard that this one's a lot more exciting, especially the topics, so we'll see how that goes. As for my electives, this is where a lot of you will think that I'm going to ace this semester. My first elective class is federal income taxation, so it is the tax law class. And when I worked for the IRS, learned a lot of law and tax law and Internal Revenue Code, and this section does this, and this is how things work. And in this class, we've already been talking about like the IRC and Internal Revenue Bulletins and revenue rulings and things like that. And my professor was a tax lawyer forever, and I actually met him the first day I went to law school, and we had like a luncheon with the new students and things like that. And he didn't actually remember me when I was talking to him. And then during class today, and then after class, I was chatting with him, and he realized that I was the one who worked for the IRS for basically the last 10 years. So I think I'm doomed in that class to get called on probably every day now. But I'm fine with that. We were talking about interest and compounding and things like that. And then notice of demand, or not notice of deficiency. We were talking about those today. And I was telling him, I don't know, I've written a lot of those in my career, so a lot of notice of deficiencies and things like that. And we were going through the timelines and things like that, so it's really interesting. And I think it'll be kind of neat because I know the IRS perspective on all this tax law, and now I'll get to see kind of the other side of it, so representing the taxpayer. I think that'll make me altogether a much more well-rounded lawyer, especially if I go back to work for the Internal Revenue Service. So I think that'd be really awesome to do, and give me a really great perspective on it, to kind of learn the representation of the taxpayer side, and knowing what I know about the Internal Revenue Service side. I'm hoping that it helps me with the class, and I don't overcomplicate it on myself or something. I think I'll be fine. I'm really excited because this is the kind of foundational course for tax, and then in the spring I'm hoping to probably take if they offer it, it's basically the employment tax class, and in that one I should shine, I would hope. After almost 10 years of working in nothing but, it's not just employment tax, it's a business tax basically. So this year is basically the basics of individual tax, and then next semester would be the basics of business tax. And if I don't do well in that class, then that would be pretty surprising. I assume that I can do really well, but I think it'll be really neat. We only have like a handful of people in that class, so it's really small, and he's a really cool professor. My final elective class, my final class that I have is bankruptcy, and bankruptcy law is going to be interesting. I don't know a lot about it. I know the very basics. The reason I took it, and a lot of you at the IRS will know exactly what I'm saying, a lot of people when it comes to working at the IRS just don't know much about bankruptcy law, and a lot of times we pawn it off onto other departments that really dealt with it anyway. But if I'm going to go and work for the Internal Revenue Service, we're going to have bankruptcy come in all the time, and if I get to work for Chief Counsel, I'm pretty sure that's going to be something that, if I learn about it now, could propel me upwards and give me some really interesting things to do later on in my career. So it's kind of like one of those things. I decided to take bankruptcy because I figured it would teach me something and maybe give me a leg up in areas that a lot of other people might not know about. So, and it's really interesting. The teacher for the class is actually one of the two federal bankruptcy judges that are here in Montgomery. So I have a really awesome professor that knows a lot about bankruptcy law. So there you go, there's my classes for the semester. I'm super excited, and first week, basically half a week really, is under my belt, and I can't wait to report on more. The beast of legal research writing has been slain, so I don't have to deal with the busy work of that. But I hope you enjoy the videos for the semester. Miss all of you. Remember to subscribe to my channel for any updates, and also to like and comment on the video if you have anything you want to say, if you just want to say hi. And in the past, I don't know if I've said it, but thank you all for the comments, the well wishes, as I continue on with my education. It's a blast. I'm super excited and pumped as this new semester gets going. And if you have any questions about law school or what it's like, feel free to ask me in the comments or contact me on any of my social media. I'll gladly answer about it. If you have any wonderings of what it's like to go to law school, or should I go to law school, or anything like that. But again, thank you so much. I hope that you are all doing fantastic. I'm doing very well, and can't wait to report back. I'll be doing this every week, like I usually do, unless something else comes up. But just expect it every week. So thank you very much. 30-year law student out.